topic of decimals, but we're going to be looking at dividing a decimal by a decimal. You have covered this in previous years, but we do need to recap it to make sure that you can still do it. So if you can write in your big books, gwaith dosbarth dividing a decimal by a decimal and today's date. So the method for dividing by a decimal, we first need to multiply both parts of the question by powers of 10 to make the number we are dividing by a whole number first. That's really important. So the numbers in this first example here, that's 0.3, we have to make that a whole number before we do anything. But whatever we multiply this number by to make it a whole number, we must do the same on the other side to the number we're actually dividing. So if you can write that method in your big books now, please, and then put the side heading examples. If you need to pause the video to give you time to write that down, that's absolutely fine, and then play it again for the examples. So looking at this first example, 7.8 divided by 0.3. We don't like this because it's a decimal, so therefore we need to multiply it by 10 to make it a whole number. Because we've multiplied the 0.3 by 10, we must do the same to the other side. 7.8 times by 10 to get an equivalent calculation, equivalent question. 7.8 times 10 is 78, divided by 0.3 times 10 is 3. If we're unsure at this stage, you can do it in your head, but I would always advise to do a bus stop. 78 is the number we're dividing, so that always goes inside, and then we're dividing by 3, so we go outside. 3 goes into 7 twice with a remainder of 1. 3 goes into 18 6 times. So our answer equals 26. Whatever the answer comes out as from the bus stop, that is our final answer. We don't then divide it by 10 because we originally times by 10. Because we are doing it to both sides of the question, that is how the answer remains as it is. Looking on to example 2 then. 5.562 divided by 0.06. Well, in this case, we're going to have to times the 0.06 by 100 to make it a whole number. Because we've times this side by 0.06, we must do by 100. We must do the same on the other side. It doesn't matter if this value remains as a decimal. If the number we're dividing is a decimal, that is absolutely fine. So 5.562 times 100, remember each digit moves 2 places to the left, so we end up with 556.2 divided by 6. Again, popping this in a bus stop, 556.2 divided by 6. Don't forget to put that decimal point in straight above the decimal point in the question. How many 6's in 5? 0. Carry the 5. How many 6's in 55? 9. 9 times 6 is 54, so we've got a remainder of 1. How many 6's are in 16? There is 2 6's in 16. 2 times 6 is 12, which means there's a remainder of 4. How many 6's are in 42? 7. So our answer equals 92.7. Again, whatever comes out to the bus stop, that is our answer. We don't then divide it by 100. Moving on to our next example. 3.68 divided by 1.6. Looking at our decimal here, this time we need to times it by 10 to make it a whole number. We do the same on the other side, times it by 10. So we end up with 36.8 divided by 16. Pop it in a bus stop, 36.8 divided by 16. Pop your decimal point straight above the decimal point in the question. To help us here, we can do our 16 times table down the side. So 1 times 16 is 16, 2 times 16 is 32, 3 times 16 is 48, or you could do your tower sum. 16 add 16, 6 add 6 is 12, 2 down carry 1, 1 add 1 is 2, and the one we carried is 3. 32 add 16, 2 add 6 is 8, 3 add 1 is 4, so you get 48 there. How many 16s are in 3? 0, carry the 3. How many 16s in 36? There's 2 16s in 36 with a remainder of 4. How many 16s in 48? Well, the answer there is 3. So our final answer is 2.3. Final question then. 9 divided by 0.075. Well, in order to make this number a whole number, we need to multiply by 1,000. Doing that on the other side, again we need to multiply the 9 by 1,000. 9 times 1,000 is 9,000 divided by 75. Plus stop, 9,000 goes in, and it's been divided by 75. This time, down the side, you may want to do your 75 times table to help you. I would highly advise you doing this. Okay, or you could do it as a tower sum again. So 75, add 75, 5 add 5 is 10, 0 down carry 1, 7 add 7 is 14, and the 1 is 15. 15 add 75, 0 add 5 is 5, 5 add 7 is 12, 2 down carry 1, 1 add 1 is 2, 225 add 75, 5 add 5 is 10, 0 down carry 1, 2 add 7 is 9 and the 1 is 10, 0 down carry 1, 2 add 1 is 3, 300. So, how many 75s in 9? 0, carry the 9. How many 75s are in 90? Well, it's only the 1. And there's a remainder of, from 75 to get to 90, we've got a remainder of 15. How many 75s in 15? 2. And then don't forget this last step. How many 75s are in 0? 0. So our answer equals 120. And remember, we don't then divide that by 1,000. Whatever comes out of the bus stop, that is our answer. So I've got an assignment set for you now. If you've copied all of them examples into your big book, you can then move on to the assignment task.